Hi again, Year 10. Welcome to Lesson 3 of Week 5 online learning, and it's the final lesson in the topic of el acoso escolar, school problems and pressures. So here are the objectives we've been working towards all week, looking at vocab and using it to describe school problems and pressures. We've done lots of reading, writing tasks and translations, and this lesson, we do have some more of the similar things to do. Now, los problemas en el cole is just a different way of saying el acoso escolar, so problems at school. Now, I've posted a worksheet in Google Classroom, which I'm going to show you in a second as well. And what I want you to do, there are tasks on there. There's a gap fill task. Let me just come out of this and go on to, move this down there for a second. And I want to show you the worksheet. So this is what it looks like. This is attached in Google Classroom for you to open and have a look at. So you may need to download it, but it should be, it's Microsoft Word, so it should work fine. Now it says el acoso escolar. So read the text, fill in the gaps with the word from the box. So you may want to print this out. You can work with it on the screen. I don't mind how you do it. You need to read through. There are 15 words to put into the boxes. You've got 15 at the bottom here. They need to go into the gaps. Now you'll need to read it carefully. This will take you some time. It's a good sort of 20-minute task, I would have thought. Some of it is going to be straightforward, but you need to read through carefully. If you've got it down here, tenemos, creo, tenía, ocurre, se llama, consiste. They are all verbs. There's an infinitive there. There's another one there. Eran is the imperfect, or here's another infinitive. Se llama is obviously the present tense. So you've got present tenses, imperfect tenses, infinitives. And you need to think about how are they going to fit into this text. Think about the sort of rules that you know. If, for example, you've got me gusta, and then it may have an infinitive after that. So me gusta escribir, me gusta estudiar astronomía or something, whatever you want to do. So think about the rules that you know in terms of how the language works. These are, as I said, these are all verbs. So if you've got different tenses, you may need to think about what are the time indicators in front of the verbs, so you know that you're using the right tense. So as I say, take your time to do this. It'll take you 20 minutes, I should think. So working either on a printed out copy or on the screen and writing the numbers 1 to 15. Sorry, there's a cat. Guest appearance from today. Writing the numbers 1 to 15 and then writing down the words as they should appear in the text. Pause the video now, do the task, and I'll see you when you've done it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have done the task. Here is the numbers 1 to 15, and the gaps should be filled with the words in this order. So make sure you correct your work carefully, please. Se llama was the first one. So it's something that means instituto se llama. Número 2, vuelvo, meaning I go back, I return. Tenemos, we have. Podemos, we can. My cat is joining in. Consiste, it consists of. Llevan, they wear. Llevar is to wear, it's the infinitive. Llevar is to wear, to take, to carry. And here it's talking about uniform. Creo, I think, or I believe. Parece, it seems. Número 10, ocurre, it happens, it occurs. Número 11, sacar, it's the infinitive. Número 12, repasar. Era, that's your first imperfect tense. It's talking about what the old school was like, what the primary school's like. Tenía, I used to have, or he used to have. Eran, it was. or they were. Sorry, they were. It's the plural. So there's era. It was. Eran. They were. Okay, so those are the gaps that you should have filled. That will have taken, those are the words you should have put in the gaps rather. It will have taken you some time that. So make sure you understand why the answers are as they are. Now, in the next exercise, you're going to be working with that worksheet again. And this time, there are some questions on the second page, and I want you to answer the questions. It's exercise 2, so it's the second page of the worksheet, and I want you please to answer the questions. I'm just going to go back to show you the worksheet. Here it is again. So you've done the gap fill. You're now on exercise 2. Contesta a las preguntas sobre el texto en inglés. So what is his favorite subject and why? How does he get to school and so on? So you're answering these in English. The thing is, if you get questions in English, you answer them in English. Similarly, if the questions are in Spanish, you answer in Spanish. Okay, so go back and look through all of that. There's a lot of information here, a lot of vocabulary, which you should be making a note of. If you've managed to print this off, then it's useful and you can highlight maybe and write in the margins so that you don't have to write everything out in full every time. Okay, so there's your task. Answer those questions, please, using the information in the text. And then I will see you when you've completed that. All right, so this one we've already done. Apologies, I'm going backwards and forwards through this PowerPoint. Here is the next exercise. So answer the questions from exercise 2. The answer is Spanish because the teacher is fun. How does he get to school and how does he go home? He goes by car and returns on foot. So vuelvo, that was I return. There are several football pitches and athletics tracks. There is a big gym. Grey trousers and blazer, black shoes, white shirt and tie. Mobile phones are not allowed. He's the worst teacher because he's always shouting. She is a bit boring. Exam stress. And I'm going to have to just pause it here for a second because it's got out of sync. Let's have a look. Okay, it's exam stress. It's important to make your parents proud. The primary school was small. The teachers weren't very good. They were always angry at him. So apologies. The formatting has gone a bit strange on here. I'm just going to show you that last one there. So it was, what was his primary school like and why are the students afraid of failure at school? They're afraid of failure at school because it's important to make your parents proud. His primary school was small and the teachers weren't very good. They were always angry at him. Okay, so if you can correct your work, please, and make sure that that is done with a red pen to show what you didn't know. The amount of red pen you have on your work at the end of this exercise will give an indication of how much you struggled to understand it. Okay, so as the last sort of exercise using that worksheet, I would like you please to translate the final paragraph of the worksheet, the one that starts with en general diría, put that into English please, and post a picture of your work on Google Classroom. I'm going to put the correct version up next week. I'm not going to do it now. So again, just to go through it and show you what I'd like. Here's the thing again. It's this bit here. En general, diría que, all the way down to se enfadaban conmigo. All right, the fact that you've translated some of the sentences will help you, or you've answered questions on it rather, will help you. But I'd like you to do this translation, please pay attention to it carefully, make sure you've got your tenses right and the vocabulary is accurate. Okay, so once you've done that, we'll pause the video now, do that task, and I will see you afterwards. Okay, so you've had time to translate the final paragraph. You've written it in elegant English, and you've posted a picture of your work on Google Classroom. We'll correct that or check it next week. And essentially, if I can get to the next thing here, we've met our objectives in terms of learning and using the vocab for describing school problems and pressures. We've done a huge amount of reading and writing tasks, and we haven't done any writing in terms of producing the language. You've done that quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. We will do some more next week, but the reading and translation has been helpful, and you have written some Spanish for yourself in terms of translating into Spanish. I'd like you please to evaluate and set targets on how to improve further, and just using that, please. What have you learned today? What target can you set yourself to improve? Okay, you've done a lot of work this week, Year 10. Thank you. There's quite complicated language in some of the exercises we've done. So thank you very much for your hard work, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much, and adios.